Hey everybody, it's Dan Ratkewitch, and this is episode 7 of the Helping Hands podcast. My guest today is Justin Weiss. Justin is the founder and team captain of Team Phoenix, part of the National MS Society, and the captain is of Walk MS. And we're going to get into a little bit of what the Team Phoenix is going to be doing this year. But before we get into that, can you talk a little bit about how you got involved with Team Phoenix?
Absolutely. Well, Team Phoenix started way back when I was back in my 20s. My mother was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. She was diagnosed at a time where there really wasn't any treatment, so not a lot of knowledge of the disease. In all honesty, she had a really rough go of it.
What year was this around?
I think she was first diagnosed when I was probably, I want to say, around 13, 14 years old. I didn't get involved with the MS Society until, after she had passed. I want to say I was probably like 25, 26 years old. I attended my first walk. When my mother passed away from MS, we tended to, turn our backs to it. We were told then that multiple sclerosis was pretty much like a lightning strike. It wasn't hereditary. We didn't have any danger of anybody else having it. It wasn't contagious. It was just something that struck her and her alone. Of course, we know now that that's not true.
Or actually, before we go any further with that, because one of the things that we were talking about beforehand is what exactly is MS?
Multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease that affects the central nervous system, your brain, your neck, and your spine. There are many, many symptoms to it. The major one is fatigue. Okay. However, it can cause nerve-ending flare-ups. It can cause pain. A lot of the times what it does is it causes that feeling that you get when your arm goes to sleep,
right.
That pins and needly feeling. Some people experience that. Some people experience paralysis. They have something called a foot drop. It gives people difficulty walking. It can, from time to time, render people immobile. It has cognitive issues where people begin to forget things, a little bit more frequently than, a normal person would. Multiple sclerosis also affects somewhere around, 2.5 million people right here in the United States. They still have a lot to learn about the disease. There's a lot to still be discovered. Now with the latest MRI technology, we're able to detect the disease a lot earlier than normal.
Okay.
Normally you just had to do, back in the day you had to do like a spinal tap to figure out if somebody had MS or not. And now they send them in for an MRI and they can find the scars on the brain, the neck, and the spine.
Now, you were diagnosed with MS.
Yes.
What was it that made you? Did you have some of those symptoms? How did
Yes.
you find out that has? Because Mom had it. At that time, you thought that it wasn't. They thought that it wasn't hereditary or anything like that. Obviously, it is.
Yeah.
What were some of the reasons that you found out?
Naturally, it came as a shock. I had worked physically my whole life. I owned a landscaping business for almost 20 years. I started experiencing something very simple, like a heaviness in my legs. Then my hands were going all pins and needly. I started to have cognitive issues. I started to get massive crushing headaches. I would go to my doctor and he would tell me, you've worked physically your whole life. You could have carpal tunnel syndrome. You could just be getting older. You could be tired. I kept going back, time and time again because there always seemed to be something wrong. And finally he sent me for an MRI to rule out multiple sclerosis. And as it turns out, it proved I had it. That's going on. I'm going on 10 years now.
Okay.
With multiple sclerosis. I want to say I was probably about 36, 37 when I was diagnosed, 47 now.
And what are you experiencing now? So you've had it, what, 10 years or so?
Yeah, I've had it 10 years. I still get the pins and needles in my hands and in my feet. I get the fatigue. The fatigue is sometimes crushing. It becomes very difficult to, very often I have to fight to get through a day. Everybody experiences that, that midday fatigue. You have lunch and you're almost through your day and you start getting tired, you start falling asleep. With people with MS, that's almost crushing. You really have to fight to get through it. No amount of caffeine is going to help. People with MS, they actually say that you have to double your efforts to do everything. People with MS, the simple tasks as such as, waking up in the morning and making yourself a sandwich for lunch later on. It takes twice as much energy for people with MS to do that simple task as it does normal people. So come, midday towards the end of the day, they're done. They have nothing left. They need to recharge in one way or another. Sometimes, people can take a simple nap. Sometimes, people could just relax for a little while and they'll be okay. Some people don't. A lot of people leave the workforce because of the fatigue.
It's debilitating. They can't on that.
It can be, yeah.
So you've had a lot of experience with your mom, with you yourself. Somebody that was just recently diagnosed, that is freaking out, that just got hit in the face with that. Mm-hmm. What advice can you give them on the next steps? What to do? Who to reach out to for support? What to kind of expect? What somebody out there that doesn't have support, that doesn't know about this. What advice would you give them?
The first thing I would say is don't be afraid. You're not alone. All right. MS is far more treatable now than it was yesterday. Every day they make new breakthroughs. My advice would be to get in contact with the National MS Society, possibly join a support group. You're going to learn that there are a lot of people that live very full lives with this disease. It's not like it was for my mom many years ago. For my mom, they told her, go home, go to bed, don't exert yourself. Now they say the opposite. They get out there, get involved, exercise, eat right, make good choices. Eventually, people learn to live with the disease. Again, the MS Society, in my opinion, has always been the best support. They have a lot of programs. They're going to put you in contact with other people. For me, simply when I first got involved with MS Walk, it was like, oh my God, look, all these other teams, all these other people out here living with this disease. And they seem to be okay. Are they? Everybody has their own, inner struggles, but you can live a very full life with it.
And you got involved. What made you get involved with the MS Society? You got involved before you were diagnosed?
Yep. Before I was diagnosed, we would attend the walks, like I said, sporadically.
Right.
We wouldn't be looking for them. We would hear they were going on. Okay, my mom had it. Let's do a little something for it.
And when did you form Team Phoenix? When was that? Because that seems to be what your passion is right now. Absolutely. And that's what you're heavily involved in.
Team Phoenix was formed at MS Walk.
Okay.
After I was diagnosed, we decided now we have to, go to the walks. So a group of close friends and I got together and we went to one of these walks. And, it was the Belmont Lake State Park Walk. They called it the Pooch Parade because everybody would bring their dogs.
Okay.
So not only were people walking, but the dogs were walking too. It was a lot of fun. It was like a big dog show. We're walking down the path and we start seeing signs for all different team names. One of my friends shouts out, hey, Just, we need a team name. So the rest of the day was spent coming up with the most vulgar team names possible, none of which I really want to mention on this podcast. But at the same time, being newly diagnosed, I was struggling, looking for some kind of symbol to get behind, to really showcase my fight. And, being a fan of mythology, I came across a picture of a phoenix. And I thought to myself, this is fantastic. This is it. What better mythological creature to represent people's fight with a disease like this than a phoenix? Here I was someone, when I was first diagnosed, I burned to ashes, and now I'm going to rise again. I also never wanted the team to be just about me. I wanted it to be about the fight, about the struggle. I wanted people to find a symbol that they could get behind, So, long story short, Team Phoenix was formed. We all came together and we started raising money for, MS Walk.
And it's not just the walk. You guys have a lot of other events throughout the year as well that you're doing.
All of which are to raise money for, the National MS Society.
Right.
We've done everything from garage sales, paint nights, comedy nights. We have a huge bar event that we do every year where we get a whole bunch of raffle prizes. People come in, they have a great time. We were doing, we called it MS Bounce, where we were at one of those trampoline places where we had the kids all come in. We tried to do a lot of fun, different things. We had a paint night that was different. All the girls came in and they painted the wine glasses. Not one of them ever looked like the picture.
Right.
Not one of them. Not even the ones the instructors did. But everybody had a lot of fun.
Right.
We've always wanted to have fun doing things, and we do. We've grown quite a bit. What started out as a small, close group of friends has actually expanded to the point where people that have MS have actually come to us, joined our team, and gotten involved, which is something I always wanted from day one. Right. From day one, I wanted other people to get involved for this cause to be theirs. It can't just be about me. It has to be about the cause.
And I think you guys are doing a great job of getting that message out. I hear more and more in the community about Team Phoenix. I see the garage sale that goes on. I know when I hear your motorcycle revving up and pulling up down the street that something's going on, something's happening, and you have a huge turnout for that. We're recording this in the end of January and of 2019, and you have the comedy night coming up on the 27th, I believe, right, of January. Where is that?
It's at Governor's Comedy Club.
Okay, right in Levittown.
Yeah. We have very few tickets left, but we still have some tickets left.
Okay.
That's going to be a lot of fun. That's always been a big night for us. The biggest night for us is the bar event.
Right.
The bar event will happen in May. It'll be May 4th.
Okay.
Most likely, we haven't nailed down the bar yet, but it'll probably be where we had it last year, which was Cheers in Hicksville. And that's the event that everybody looks forward to. We get somewhere between 25 to 30 raffle prizes that people can win. We have a DJ that comes in and donates his time. And, we all just have a great time. It's a great date night for anybody that just wants to get out of the house and have a good time.
And these are all events that anybody can
everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome.
You can use the support from the whole community. From
Absolutely.
Everybody.
Absolutely. Also, I'd like to mention that through the success of Team Phoenix, we've been able to get very involved with the MS community. My wife and I have actually attended and spoke at many different events, for people living with multiple sclerosis. I've been tied into support groups. I've done talks for the newly diagnosed. I spoke in front of one of the MS walks once. I don't know why they let me do that. We've also, we've been able to reach out and help a lot of people. And that's what, the charity is all about. Sometimes it's not just about raising money. It's about raising awareness and helping the people living with the disease.
And I know why they have you speak, because you're down to earth. You are living it. You're speaking the truth. You're not sugarcoating it, and you're telling your story too. Because we talked about that, and I think one of the things that we were talking about this before we were going to set up the podcast was about, keeping things light. You didn't want to come in and have this as like this,
rehearsed speech.
Or rehearsed speech, but like this Debbie Downer kind of thing. It is serious. It does have a lot of effects on a lot of people. But, like you said, people are living with it for a long time. People are coping and living and living full lives. There are things that go along with it, but you wanted to bring that lighter thing.
The MS community, as sad as it is, that there is an MS community. Believe me, I'd wish the whole thing was just eradicated. But because of the MS community, I've actually made some of the very best friends I have. I've met so many amazing people, champions, living with this disease. I know a guy who has progressive multiple sclerosis. He's completely paralyzed from the neck down. But when you come and you see him, the first thing he does is start joking with you. It's amazing. It's amazing. Some of the people living with this disease are absolutely incredible people. I've met so many other team captains of other, walk teams, and we've become friends. We've done events together, raising money together. It's really a very tight-knit community, of amazing people that just want to have a good time, raise money and awareness.
Right.
Live their lives.
Right. Well, you can support Team Phoenix. The comedy night is coming up on Sunday. We're putting together our basket from our agency for you guys. Hopefully you get a lot of tickets in there for that. You can come down and support that. Reach out. We'll put the link and everything in there for in the comments and everything for how to get involved. The bar night is, I know we'll talk more and we'll do a lot more things as the different events coming up. When is the walk? Because I want to get that
I have to look
that time at. Okay. Is it a spring, summer?
It's a spring walk. It'll happen at Jones Beach.
We'll get it. The exact
end
date.
Of April, beginning of May. I don't know the exact date. That's being very unprepared. But,
no, that's okay. We'll get that's the whole magic of all this. We can put it all in the
put it in later
in there. But
so I'm not going to look it up on Google right now.
We don't need. We could do that, but thank you for all you're doing. On top of this, Justin didn't bring it up, but Justin does a lot of work with the East Meadow School District and volunteering and helping out with everything from the Halloween spooky walk. He was dressed up as Santa and he. I'm actually surprised that you didn't show up in your Beetlejuice gear from
I thought
Halloween.
about that. People talk me out of it though.
All right. Well, you totally could have. You totally could have walked in. And
next time I'll dress as Beetlejuice.
Right. I had this whole entrance planned. I was going to
say my name three times.
Right. And then you're going to show up. But so on top of everything that you're doing for Team Phoenix, thank you for all you're doing for our community.
Thank you.
Keep it up. Let us know how we can help. Let everybody know how they can help. One of the things that I like to close our podcast with is the question of the day. You're our guest. It's something that you can throw out there to people. They could put it in comments on there. That how we can help you.
Well, the best question that anybody can ask me is how can I get involved? What can I do to make a difference? And either one of those questions, I'm here. I will answer every one of those questions.
All right. So put it in comments, and we can direct you on how to do that, Justin, and we'll hook you up directly with Justin to do that. Justin, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And good luck to you, and thanks.
Thank you.